Hello friends, in this video we will learn register organization of 8085. It is very important topic because without understanding register organization and without understanding how register works, it is quite impossible to understand even instruction set of 8085, and thereafter if you don't understand instruction set then it is useless to even study programming with 8085. Let us start. So to begin with this register organization, you can see that certain set of registers have drawn over here. Knowing the fact 8085 being 8-bit processor, every internal register should be 8-bit in size. So every register that you see over here, that is WZ, A, F, B, C, D, E, H, L, all of them are 8-bit in size. Let's begin discussion with W and Z. W and Z are called as internal registers. Remember, W and Z are set of internal temporary registers. Of course, every register is in fact internal register. So let's not call this as internal. It is just a temporary register. This set of temporary registers are internally used by microprocessor for its own operation and not available for a programmer to use. So you cannot see a single instruction which will use these letters W and Z. So W and Z are temporary register internally used by microprocessor for its own purpose, and it is not available for a programmer for programming purpose. Rest all of the registers are available, like A. A stands for accumulator. A stands for accumulator. Again, it is 8-bit in size. Your F stands for flag register. We'll be learning flag register in the next video. Other registers, which is B, C, D, E, H, L, they are called as general purpose registers. These are general purpose registers. All the general purpose registers are 8-bit in size, but as we have discussed in the last video, in case if you want to handle 16-bit data, then they form a pair, and this pairing is standard pairing, that is BC, DE and HL are called as standard register pair in order to handle 16-bit data whenever required. Rest, as you can see, PC. Here PC stands for program counter, and looking at the structure, you must have noticed that program counter is 16-bit in size. But again, when we say being 8-bit processor, all the registers should be 8-bit in size. So I'll tell you the reality. Program counter, even though of course it is 16-bit in size, it is actually made up of two internal registers called as program counter lower byte and program counter higher byte. So program counter lower byte and program counter higher byte are combinedly known as PC, and PC stands for program counter. Similarly, we have one more register called as SP. From the structure, it is quite clear that it is 16-bit in size. So in fact, even though SP, that is stack pointer, appears to be 16-bit register, it is internally made up of two 8-bit registers called as SPL and SPH, where SPL stands for stack pointer lower byte, SPH stands for stack pointer higher byte. So this is also made up of two, SPL and SPH, and it stands for stack pointer. As I said, BC, DE, HL are what we call as standard register pairs. But then accumulator and F, where F stands for flag register, are together known as PSW. So this stands for PSW, where PSW stands for program status word. So now we'll have discussion on accumulator. So accumulator is 8-bit register which holds one of the data before performing any arithmetic or logical operation, and once that arithmetic and logical operation is over, the result automatically collected by accumulator itself. I'll explain accumulator again. Suppose if you are performing any arithmetic or logical operation, for example, if you are performing addition, for addition, let's say you are adding two numbers, let's say 5 and 3. So out of 5 and 3, one of the number should be present in accumulator. That's the rule. Before performing not only for addition but any arithmetic or logical operation, one of the data should be present in accumulator. And once this operation is performed by ALU, which stands for arithmetic and logical unit, whatever result you got, it automatically comes in the register itself, that is accumulator itself. So now I'll actually tell you how it is performed. See, this is called as ALU, that is arithmetic and logical unit, which performs all the arithmetic and logical operations. Of course, it has two unit or two inputs here. One of the register is called as temporary register, the other register is called as an accumulator. Then we have some general set of registers here, which are B, C, D, E, H and L. Now let's say if you want to add two numbers 5 and 3. So the operation which I want to carry out is addition of 5 and 3. Out of which, as I said, one of the number out of 5 and 3, one of the number should be present in A. So let me assume number 5 is present in A. Now the question is about 3. So 3 can be stored in one of the register from general purpose register. So these are set of general purpose register, out of which let me just select register B, where let's say 3 is stored. So number 3 is stored in B, because access of temporary register is not available to user. So now to achieve this, we need to write certain set of instructions. I know that I have not yet started with the instruction set of 8085, but at least I'll make you sure that for this time you will understand what I'm trying to convey you. If you want to store 5 in A, that is accumulator, you have to write instruction like this: MVI A, 05H. H indicates it is hexadecimal. Let us understand the meaning of MVI. MV stands for move, I stands for immediately. So whenever in the instruction we have I, you will always find some constant value or constant data in the instruction. So it says move immediately 05 hex into accumulator. So after execution of this instruction, this 5 gets stored in accumulator, which I have shown over here. 5 is now stored in accumulator. Rest 03 we want to store in register B. For that we will be writing similar instruction, that is MVI, but this time destination will be B, 03 hex. In this case 03 data is stored in B register. After that we want to actually add A and B, but in the hardware what you can see that 3 is present in B register and not in temporary register. Am I right? Also, if we add A and B, then we need to write instruction for that, because otherwise how microprocessor will understand that you want to add. So we have one instruction called as add B. Try to understand, I have specified only one register here, that is B. Even though I want to add it with accumulator, microprocessor by default knows that one of the data is already stored in accumulator. So what happens in add B instruction, it adds content of register B by default with content of register A, and whatever result come, it automatically goes into A register. So I can write the working of add B like this: content of A gets added with content of B and answer goes to A. So this is the working of add B instruction. So now let's see how it happens in the hardware. The moment add B instruction is written, microprocessor understands that you want to add content of B with A, out of which the content of A is already available at the input of ALU. What is not available is content of B, because it is not present in the temporary register. ALU cannot perform the addition. So by using internal bus, it fetches the data of register B and then store it into temporary register. So as you can see, the moment you write add B here, out of B, C, D, E, H, L, it fetches the data from register B and brings it into temporary register. Since the instruction, it is specified that it has to add, internally microprocessor gives add instruction to this ALU. In turn, what is going to happen? It does the addition and result comes at output data bus, and this time result is what? 5 plus 3, it is 8. Once this result has come, it automatically comes back to accumulator like this. So this 08 comes and it is going to replace this 05. So now the present content of accumulator will not be 5 but 08x. So this is how the operation takes place. So remember, accumulator is a register which holds one of the data before the operation, and once that operation is over, the result automatically comes in accumulator. Operation refers to arithmetic and logical operation. So irrespective whether it is addition, subtraction, or it is any logical operations like AND or XOR, then one of the data, it is mandatory, should be present in accumulator. So this is how this mechanism really works. So I'm sure you must have understood how accumulator works. Two more register we need to have a clarification, that is on program counter and stack pointer. In case of program counter, which we call a 16-bit register, so this is a 16-bit register. Again, we know the fact that it is actually made up of two 8-bit registers called as program counter lower byte and program counter higher byte. 16-bit register which holds an address of the instruction which is to be executed, or address of the instruction or next instruction to be executed. So it holds address of next instruction to be executed. Now what is meant by this? See, practically we write some code and we first of all store it into memory. So where the code is present, it is inside a microprocessor or inside memory? Of course it is inside memory. So if you see structure wise, you will see all the instructions are stored inside memory location wise. Let's say 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003 and so on. And remember, even though we are writing instructions like this, for example MVI A, 03 hex or MVI B, 02 hex and so on, or we are writing some instruction like add B, this language is what we call as assembly level language. But instructions are not stored as it is in the memory, they are stored in their respective hexadecimal code. So every instruction has got its own hexadecimal code or equivalent code, and that is known as operation code or also called as opcodes. So basically what is stored in memory is not this instruction but their opcodes. So they are actually in fact stored in the form of codes. So let me just write I1 here. So I1 refers to instruction code for instruction 1. Similarly, instruction 2, instruction 3, instruction 4 and so on. So all the codes of instructions are actually stored inside the memory, and that too in sequential manner. Once it is done, now the job of microprocessor begins. So now what microprocessor does? Microprocessor is first of all going to fetch these instructions. Fetching the instructions means reading the instruction from the memory. Ultimately, who is responsible to execute the program? Microprocessor or memory? Of course, microprocessor, because the job of memory is to only preserve the data or preserve the code. The job of microprocessor is to read that instruction, understand the instruction and to react upon it, right? So what I said, it has to read the instruction. Reading the instruction is what we call as fetching the instruction. Then it has to understand the instruction. Understanding of the instruction means decoding the instruction, and thereafter taking the action, it means executing the instruction. So MUPI does three things. First, it fetches it, then it decodes it, and then it executes it. Am I right? But then it is very important for microprocessor to first of all know where the instructions are stored, in exactly in which memory location. Is that right? So memory location is not known to microprocessor. So there the role of program counter begins. That is, program counter will always hold an address, let's say 2000, because 2000 is the starting location of the program. So 2000 hex is already stored in program counter. MUP understands it that MUP has to fetch from 2000 hex location, because as we said in the discussion that program counter is a 16-bit register which holds address of next instruction to be executed. Therefore, for MUP to execute the next instruction is I1, right? Let us assume that I1 instruction is already fetched and being decoded, and now I1 is started executing. While instruction 1 is getting executed inside a MUP, program counter automatically incremented by 1. So it became 2001 now. So the new content is 2001, because while executing instruction 1, program counter points to the address of next instruction. So here, as you can see, the next instruction is at 2001. So when MUP is executing the current instruction, program counter will always have address of the next instruction to be executed. Likewise, suppose if MUP is executing, let's say, instruction number 3, then program counter will have address of instruction number 4. So as you can see, instruction number 4 is residing at 2003 hex location. So program counter will keep on incrementing itself, that is automatically, right? So this is how the program counter works. It always holds address of next instruction to be executed. So MUP gets guided that from which location MUP has to fetch the instruction from, right? So this is the job of program counter. Let us understand what is meant by stack pointer. So stack pointer is also a 16-bit register like program counter, made up of two 8-bit registers, SPL and SPH. SPL stands for stack pointer lower byte, SPH stands for stack pointer higher byte, but collectively it is just known as SP, that is stack pointer. So it is also a 16-bit register. And it holds address of top of stack. So it holds address of top of stack. Now what is meant by that? Actually, it refers to a special memory called as a stack memory. Stack memory is actually a part of MUP's memory only, but then it is just a reserved area where temporary content is stored for some purpose. And that temporary content area is what we call as stack memory. So if we want to know what is the current stack memory location, then we should know what is the content of stack pointer. So content of stack pointer gives you top of stack, and to give you in easy word, that it holds address of current stack location. So remember, top of stack means a current stack memory location. So this is the job of stack pointer, to keep a track of where the current stack memory is pointing to. So in a way, now we have studied what is register organization. We have studied various registers like W and Z. W and Z are temporary registers internally used by microprocessors, not available for user for programming purpose. Whereas B, C, D, E, H, L are set of general purpose registers which are available for a user for programming purpose. In fact, they can form a standard pairs when it has to handle 16-bit data. Accumulator and flag register together called as program status word, out of which we have studied accumulator, and we will be learning flag register in the next video. Meanwhile, we have also seen stack pointer as well as program counter. Program counter is a 16-bit register which will always hold address of next instruction to be executed, whereas stack pointer holds address of top of the stack. Thank you.